All right. We are going to begin, and here we have our data set. All right. So I just shared my screen. Here we have our data set, and then we have our coding key. By now, you understand what all these mean. For the gender column, 1 represents male, and 2 represents female. All right, and then we will go to the department column. 1 represents G and C departments, while 2 represents computer science department. And then we have our CGPA. Our CGPA does not have any levels, okay? CGPA score does not have any levels, okay? The CGPA score is just numerical, all right? We don't have any categories. And then we'll come to the questionnaire responses. We have academic adjustment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So looking at the questionnaire over here, this is our response scale. This is strongly agree, agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. And for strongly agree, we are going to assign 4 points to it. All right, that's why it's called a 4-point Likert scale. For agree, we're going to assign 3. For disagree, we're going to assign 2. And for strongly disagree, we're going to assign 1. So this is the responses that have been provided, okay? We've converted them to numerical value. So for example, here, this is agree, this is strongly agree, and so on and so forth. Now, there are 2 questions we are going to provide the answers for. So the questions have sub-questions under them. So the first question is for mean, standard deviation, and independent samples t-test. I remember I said previously that independent sample t-test is used when we have an independent variable that has 2 levels, all right, 2 categories, all right, and then we have our dependent variable that will have no categories. Now, the question is above. The table above presents data obtained from undergraduate students on academic adjustments. Okay, the academic adjustment scale consists of 10 items. So we are going to enter this into our SPSS. But before we enter it, we must first of all name and label these variables. So I'm going to minimize my screen. So this is my SPSS. We are in data view. All right. We are in data view. So we are going to go to variable view because that's where we are going to do our dirty work. So here we'll start with our first variable, which is the gender. I can just copy it. Come here, right click and paste. It's going to be the same label. And then for coding, we come to here, click this triple icon. Now the response format is here, all right? 1 is male. So for value, you want to put number there. And I'm just going to copy this. It's going to be easier for me. Add, and then 2 is going to be female, and I add. I'm done with this. And now if I switch my view to data view, you can see that it is looking like what we have on our table here. I can also go ahead to add my numbers. Okay, And I can also decide to copy my numbers from here and paste it. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have so this is how it's going to appear. So our information on SPSS is gradually looking like what we have on our question, because that is what we want to achieve, right? So, but let's just do for the rest of them. We've done gender, the next one is going to be department. We go over here, we paste it. And then for department, we have our coding key here. 1 is G and C. Can just copy it from here. 2 is computer science. Copy, I come here, right click, paste, add, and okay. So we're done with this. If we go back to this, we go back to data view, we have our scores here. Just go here, highlight. What I've just done is click here, hold down your shift button and press your down arrow till you get to the last number. Now I right click, copy, go over here, highlight the space where I want to paste it, and right click, paste. Okay, so the next one is CGPA. So I want to write it in full here, or yes, cumulative grade points average. For this one, we don't need to code because it does not have any coding key here. All right. It is just what it is. Does not have any level. So the next one we want to do is academic adjustments. We want to do academic adjustment. So I will like to just copy this. Three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right click, copy, and go over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right click. Okay. Let's just type it. Academic adjustment 1, academic adjustment 2, academic adjustment 3, AA4, AA5, AA6, AA7, AA8, AA9, and AA10. Now, for label, I can decide to I want to provide information for the AA1. AA1 is the first question for academic adjustment. So we have all the questions here, but I would prefer to just copy so I don't waste my time. Highlight, copy, I come here, I select all the space where I want to paste it. Right click, paste. Oh, something is wrong. Okay, let's try that again. Paste. Okay. So I think this effectively should continue here, and then we have to move this here. So I'm going to clear this. Okay, so we have all our items. We have done our dirty job. But I think what is remaining for us to do here is we have to provide a key. We have to provide a key for the responses on AA1 to AA10. So the keys are here. We've seen them under the, so these are our keys. We're going to provide them under there. So we come over here, value, under value section. Remember, we're not coding cumulative point average. So here we click here and we want strongly agree to be 4, add. Now you can see that it's very wrong because you're supposed to have number here, not label. So 4 is strongly agree. Click on add. 3 is agree, add. 2 is disagree, add. 1 is strongly disagree, add, and click on OK. I want to copy it across all these responses. So I go here, right click, copy, go here, hold down my shift button, keep going, or I can just come here, right click, paste, click here, right click, paste, until I'm able to duplicate that for all the responses. All right. So once we have done this, we've done our dirty job. So make sure that everything is as perfect as you possibly can. You can see that A1, I have my question for that, A2, A3, A4 till 10. So we are done with our dirty work. So I don't think we will need to come back here. But we will need to impute our scores. So when you come here, our scores for CGPA is here. I'm just going to copy it. Highlight the spaces, and then I'm going to paste. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for my responses for the questionnaire. I'll just highlight everything. Select all the responses, right click, copy. You can do that manually. I'm just trying to be fast so that I can be able to cover as much as possible in the shortest possible time. So I'm going to highlight this. I go over here, right click, paste. So I have my scores. Now you have to confirm if your information is in order. So go on A1. This should be toggling between your value and your label. So once you have this, you are good to go. But I want it to be in the number format, okay? Now, the next step, we are going to create the variable which we need. The variable is called academic adjustment. So academic adjustment, you have to add A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5 plus A6 plus A7 plus A8 plus A9 plus A10. All right, there are two ways you can go about it. Either we come over here, let's do the first step. The first way we can go about it is go to transform, compute variable. We call we name our variable academic adjustment. So I'm going to add all my scores together. I'll move everything to this box, and then let me add my plus sign. and then I click on OK. It's going to create the next variable after the last variable we had. So you could see we have academic adjustment as a new variable here. This is what we want to do. Now, another way we can go about it is that we can manually add this plus 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 this to still give us 33. You can manually do it this way. You go here, you type academic achievements. Academic achievements. Academic achievements. So this is the second method we're going to use. So if you have manually added it, you just come here and impute 33. This plus 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 this. Can use a calculator. We're going to get 27. Next one, you're going to get 23, 37, 27, 34, 22, 37, 29, and 32. Okay, so whichever one works for you, you go with that. But let me clear this. I already have the information I need. Okay, so let's go to the question that we are being asked. All right, let's go to the question that we are being asked. What are we being asked? We are being asked, this is the first question. I think we've done this. It says, compute the total academic adjustment score for each student by summing their responses to A1 from A1 to A10. So that is what we have just done. Okay, so that's looking back at it. That's just what we have done. We have summed up everything to form another variable called academic adjustment. Okay, so the next question says, develop one research question based on academic adjustment and gender. I've provided a format, a sample of what it should look like. Now, in this case, they are working with domestic violence and level of education. All right, so we can copy the idea we have there. So, and to help us to formulate our own research questions. So for here, if I follow my sample format, what is the mean rating of, in this case, we have academic adjustment, all right? So I don't want to use domestic violence because that's not what I'm using. So I'm going to replace that. And then for gender, I'm going to replace it with level of education. All right. So I've done my research question. So I've done B. Okay. Now the next one is C. I'm just going to go back to the hypothesis that was formulated for the first question. I can just copy it. I go back to where my question is. I paste it. But now, I'm not working with domestic violence, right? What I'm working with is academic adjustment. So I want to replace what we have on their sample with what my question is asking me. So I want to replace domestic violence with this. And also we're not working with married persons, very important. We are working with undergraduate students. Okay. Undergraduate students. Okay, so we are working with undergraduate students in in what we are doing, and not married persons. So I'm going to replace that. So I've done A, B, and C. Now the next one is calculate the grand mean and standard deviation of the students' academic adjustment scores for male and female students. Okay, so that is where we are going to do some work. Now, we are going to go over to analysis. Now, to calculate the mean and standard deviation, go over here, analyze, descriptive, compare means, independence and quantities. I'm going to move all my individual questions into the box. And finally, I have to provide my grouping variable is gender. So grouping variable is always the one that has two levels. Now you see it is asking a question, gender, what and what. So click on define groups. Make sure you have one inside the box corresponding to group one, and make sure you have two in the box corresponding to group two. Click on continue, and then I click on OK. All right. Please call me back, I'm recording. Okay, so we are going to, this is information we need, okay, for male and female. Now remember that the question says, calculate the grand mean and standard deviation of the student's academic adjustment scores for male and female students. So this is information that is important to me. You are going to copy this out, but alternatively, I can open my Excel sheet, all right, paste it here, okay. Now, I don't want, now these are my questions, and these are the responses for each of for gender, male and female, for each of those questions. Now this is my standard deviation score, this is my mean score. I don't need this standard error, so I can just delete it. Okay, so you are expected to handwrite this. So you are expected to handwrite this. And then we want the scores to be in 2 decimal places. All right, they should be in 2 decimal places. So we're going to separate the male scores, or we're going to add it up. We're going to add up all the males, all the mean score for males, and then we're going to divide it by the 10 questions that we've asked them. Okay, so you can do that manually, or you can use your Excel sheet to do the calculation. So I will just use my Excel sheet, whichever one works for you. So the first response here is this. I'm going to add it up. Okay. So I have so equal to plus the second response is this, plus the third is this, plus this is the fourth, plus this is the fifth, plus this is the sixth for male, plus this is the seventh, plus this is the eighth, plus this is the ninth, plus this is the 10th. Okay, so I'm going to divide this. Let me put my bracket sign. I'm going to divide this by 10. The 10 is the 10, the 10 is the 10, the 10 questions that we asked. Okay, so we can have that. I can do that here at the bottom so that it will be easier for me to understand. So I can have here male and female, and this was going to be grand mean. So grand mean for male is going to be, I'm just going to add up all the responses, all the mean scores for male, and divide it by 10. Okay, so this is our grand mean for male. So I'll just use, okay, now the next thing we want is the grand mean for female. We're going to do the same thing. So the grand mean for female is 3.34. Can extend this. And as I said, I will just want 2 decimal places. Okay, so now you have your scores for, you have your mean. Let's go back to our question. Our question says, calculate the grand mean and standard deviation of students' academic adjustment scores for male and female students. Now, based on our data, you can see that female have a higher mean rating for academic adjustment than male. So what that means is that females adjust better than okay. Let's continue.